Hello, class, and thanks for tuning in. Here we are. We're going to talk again about Chapter 19 and really how to make the process happen so that you can secure a grant for the nonprofit that you care about. Without further ado, I think we're going to skip right into it. All right. This is we're talking grants. If you want to get to know grants more, I really suggest that you buy a book, or even better, sign up for one of our classes here that the Bachelor of Public Service program through the School of Public Affairs offers at University of Colorado Denver. Granting is a difficult process. It's long. It's high risk. It's overwhelming. It's overwhelmingly most grant requests are rejected. Probably 95% of grant requests are rejected. Now, the method that they propose in the book is supposed to reduce that rejection rate significantly, and they have data to show that some of these methods do in fact work very well. But I do suggest that you follow the method, but also remember, you're going to spend a lot of time and energy, and you're going to get rejected for some of these grants, even if you do everything right, and if you've been accepted by the same grantor multiple times. It's also high reward, though, because you get large amounts. Grants are sometimes huge, $100,000, $200,000, $300,000. They can support an organization for several years sometimes, and they can come year after year. They also, once you receive a grant from any organization, but especially from government, other grants become easier to get. So it's worth the energy if you have the capacity to put staff and time and energy resources into it. The three kinds of grants that you need to know about. You need to know about the differences between this. First, private foundations are professionally run foundations with paid staff. They are open to innovative solutions, which means that you can experiment quite a lot, and it's a way that you can increase your programming. They are usually looking for sustainability of some kind, and are mission driven. Like my screen is frozen here. But they're mission driven, and so if you can find something that is dedicated really close to the mission of the private foundation, and it's an experiment, great. But they do like it, as do other foundations, if you have a sustainability plan. Because they might not fund you for more than 10, 15 years. You have to figure out, when you're writing the grant, you often have to figure out how you're going to sustain it 10, 15 years down the road. Family and corporate foundations are really similar. And the reason that I say that is because they're connected in a lot of ways. Both family and corporate foundations have specific and sometimes very personal objectives that they're trying to achieve. The most important thing is to have a personal relationship, and research shows read between the lines. In other words, when you're reading their website, they may say something like, "We feel strongly in education, in education, and we feel strongly that parents, all children, parents have choice in their school." That tends to be a charter school support, right? So you need to be able to read between those lines and figure out if you're in a public school, you're really not going to have as much luck with someone who believes in school choice as charter school. On the other hand, some school choice people honestly do mean school choice. They might mean public school. So you have to read between those lines and figure out exactly what they mean. Very specific. Government grants are the most time intensive. They require the most expertise. It's even possibly you want to hire someone full time to manage any government grant that you apply for. Meaning it has to be working well. The government grants can be required. They're difficult to secure, but if you get a government grant, oops, and I'll spell or foundation. But if you get a government grant, then it gives you a lot of trust. People know that you've been vetted, They know that you're a serious organization and that you can be taken seriously. So if you do get a government grant, you should mention it as often as possible, because government grants are a sign that you as an organization can be trusted. So let's go on to the process then. The key steps. Following the process, following this process, the process is discussed in the book, will increase your chances. The data show it, and as do the funders, these professional fundraisers who wrote this chapter in your book. So you're going to do research and preparation to get ready for the informational interview, and then the letter of interest. You do all three steps, and make sure you devote adequate time to each step, because it's a time-intensive process. Grants are hard. They can be big rewards, but they're high risk, right? So the first thing you need to do is research and preparation. Know thyself. You need to have a 1 page of each of your programs that need funding. These, you should just write up 1 page on each of your programs. Anyway, just be prepared no matter what. You should have an elevator to be prepared for any of the programs that you're nonprofit funds. You should have a clear language guide, so you know exactly the right language to use. And you should compare that language guide against the language that's used on the website. If you're about needed unrestricted funds, if you need unrestricted funds, you need to know exactly how much of those unrestricted funds you need, so you can request those from the foundation. Particularly if you're requesting from a foundation a particular grant or a particular program, you should remember to include unrestricted funds to administer that. Okay. You need to know that foundation. You need to know the foundation you're targeting. Research at FDO at foundationcenter.org. That's the best way to find it. You need to read the 990. And you need to look for coded language in their website. Right? And know that code language and read between the lines and figure out exactly what it is that they want. Right? Coded language is really important for grants, for securing grants, for writing grants, for everything about the grant process. You need to be very careful about what language you're using in your right? And you know how much money you're getting for. Why will this foundation want to have the impact for you? Why is your nonprofit such a good deal that this foundation wants to have the impact that they want to have? Why do they want to have it through your organization? And who are you talking to, right? Who exactly at the organization do you want to speak to? Who's the program officer that's responsible for the types of programs that you particularly can offer them? So just I'll show you a 990 so you know what you're looking at. You can get these at the FDO Foundation Center. Okay? Let's go to the FDO Center Foundation.org right now. This is what a 990 looks like. Look at that in just 1 second. The foundation.org site starts with, you have to log in. And once you get in, it starts with just, it's not a very good site because it's meant to be the free one that's going to encourage you to spend money. If you're actually going to be applying for grants, you might want to spend money. Right? It's very slow. And it's not the best search engine. But you can search for foundations in your area. And that's really important. To find foundations in particular that you can walk to. So the school that my kids go to, we have a nonprofit PTA, and we're 802. So I can just search all the foundations in 802, find someone who's close by. A lot of times these foundations want to have close impact. My impact is right there. Within walking distance. So there's the Burma Foundation. They have a $13 million budget, right? So you can start to get a figure out how much people are going to be able to get. Hawks Family Foundation has a $143,000 budget. It's giving away $143,000 on $556,000 total assets. Well, that's very small. I mean, an ask for right? But how do you figure out exactly how much to ask? Well, the key is to look at their 990. So here's 990 from Daniels, a rather large organization. Looks like they had a net gain last year of $55 million. So that's a lot, right? And you'll see all the numbers they have in the first few pages of the group. With 990 is their tax form. They have to fill out their hand, every month, they did it every year. Go to the end of that nation's tax form, and you're going to start seeing the programs that they've implemented. So, right, what's interesting about the Daniel Fund is how much they get into unrestricted funds. They give a lot of money to just general funds, general operating expenses. And it's not two right there. General operating expenses, general operating expenses. You see this right there? General operating expenses, general operating support, general operating support, general operating support. So these are restricted funds. So this is an unrestricted funds, and this is a good organization to go to for unrestricted funds. And look at how much they're giving for unrestricted funds. $30,000 there. Right here, we got $150,000 for general operating support to Teach for America. Right, Teach for America is going to tell you something too. Teach for America support charter schools. Teach for America is an organization that does a lot of work in charter schools. So they're probably connected in some way to charter schools, generally speaking. So you need to go and find that. Also listed at the back of their 990 is their major donors. You can check those off on any number, anyone 501(c)(4). You can check their donors and see what their major donors are, and you can solicit those people for that interest. So that's always a good idea. Even if you don't get anything from the grant funding process, there's another list of donors, potential donors for you. All right, so let's go back to the presentation here. Make sure I'm sharing the right page. So after you do your research and you request the informational interview, and that's where you get the actual pitch. The steps of the pitch are you will build rapport for a few minutes. 5 to 10 minutes is what they recommend, and that's a very short time. You're going to think about it and you're be like, how do I talk to someone I don't know for 5 to 10 minutes? Well, once you get into it, if you're any good at this, you're going to have to cut yourself off and start actually talking about business. You're going to share several pre-selected projects quickly. This is why you have your one-page sheets and your language guide. You know exactly how to share these. You've done your research. You know what they might be interested in. You're going to listen to their response sheets. What do you think of that plan? Ask them about that. Learn their code, too. As they talk about the plan that you propose, they're going to talk about it in their language, the language they use internally. Write those words down and use those words in your letter of inquiry or interest. Ask if the amount you have in mind is appropriate. So after you propose these pitch, you say, well, I've got a plan for a choir. We want to support the choir for 20 years. It's $3,000 a year. So we're asking for $60,000. And that would be an appropriate amount to ask from your foundation. Ask the program officer to review a draft. And so when you get done, you say, well, thank you for your time. Would you mind terribly looking over a draft of our letter of inquiry and grant application before we submit it? Oftentimes, well, yeah, so ask the program officer for the draft, to look for the draft. Ask for the foundations, for other foundations and major donors that might be interested in the programs that you pitched in this meeting, and with a handwritten thank you card when you've left. That should include action items that you discussed in the meeting. In the meeting, they may say, well, I want to hear more about this program and this program, and I'm okay starting that program, but I want to hear about how you would answer this question. So in that thank you card, you want to answer all those action items to make sure that they know that you were listening. And the last thing that you need to present at that meeting is, and then after the meeting's over, you need to prepare your letter of interest. Or letter of inquiry is what they're called. You do not want to prepare a letter of interest unless you are invited to do so. Don't turn in a grant application unless you have been invited. Sure way to get rejected and waste a lot of your time is to not be invited to write a grant, right? And that's why you go to the informational interview, is to ask if you can be invited. Make sure you know everything that the grantors want to see in the application. Make sure you know all the little bits. Do all your research. Make sure that you know every single little thing that they want to see. If it's not done exactly right with perfect language, then it will fail. Use nonprofit letterhead. You need to use professional-looking letterhead for your assignment next week. I do expect you to put together some sort of letterhead. It doesn't have to be official, but I need to know that you are thinking about what kind of letterhead you would put a letter of interest or a letter of inquiry on. It doesn't even have to look like real letterhead. You can put logo instead of having an actual logo, but I need you to be thinking about letterhead. Check with program officer about gender, name, title, and address of the contact for the letter of interest. It might be the same person that you spoke to in your informational interview. It might not be. Make sure you know exactly who that person is and what their gender is, what their salutation is. In no more than 2 sentences, introduce the nonprofit. A lot of the problem that we've had so far, not problem, but a lot of the things that we're trying to get over is having long introductions to our nonprofits. You need to figure out a 2-sentence introduction to a nonprofit that you can say in less than 10 seconds. If you don't have that, you're not going to be able to fundraise effectively. So figure out the shortest possible introduction you can have for a nonprofit. That's overall for all assignments in this class. You establish the need they want to fulfill, and that the foundation is going to want to fulfill through you. Ask for help directly for certain amounts. Lay out realistic of big goals. Ask directly for a certain amount of money. Ask for other help. If you can't get the money, ask for a list of donors. Ask for technical assistance, maybe. Ask for them to help you get CRM, customer relations management tool. Be optimistic in your closing. Say, hopefully yours, or looking forward to hearing from you. Say something optimistic so they know that you think you got this, right? And use a real, not a forgetting signature of the highest possible officer. Actually get them to put pen to paper and sign a nice piece of paper, right? Use linen paper or something fancy. It needs to have some weight to it. Not for the whole application, but definitely for the letter of interest. All right, so this week you're going to do this. You're going to read chapter 19 and chapter 20, but chapter 19 really closely. You're going to take a quiz on chapter 19. Again, this was chapter 19. You're going to take a quiz on chapter 19. You need to know chapter 19 if you're going to be able to be a fundraiser in any capacity in any nonprofit ever. Find a suitable foundation for your development plan. Doing your research using the tools and the 990, using the fdo.foundationcenter.org site and the 990. Use the discussion to think through why the foundation is suitable and what exactly you would pitch to that foundation. Next week, you'll write a letter of inquiry. Yeah, there will be very specific instructions based on a book. The woman who wrote the Grant Writing for Dummies, she does some amazing stuff. It's recommended in the Heyman book, and she really does very good stuff. But she has very specific instructions. You can follow them to a T. If it says 2 sentences, introduce your nonprofit, it needs to be 2 sentences, not run-on sentences that you've shoved together with commas, but 2 sentences. This grant writing is formulaic. You have to follow the formula. And then that's it. So, ask questions if you have any questions. UCDenver.edu. My Zoom hours are still Monday and Wednesday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. I'll be around both of my Zoom hours next week. Text or call my 97236-6311. That's 97236-6311. Text me or call me anytime. I'm around. And contact me on Canvas. A lot of you have been using the message function in Canvas. Great. Love it. Now that I know it's there, in the beginning I was having problems responding to it because I didn't know it's there. Now I know it's there, so keep using it. I check it every day, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. So yeah, keep doing it. And I can't wait to see your discussions pop up. And remember to try to do your first discussion by Saturday evening. All right. Thanks a lot. Have a great one.